All right, this is going to be the start of the new Craftsman tiller project. But before we start, it's got some half-inch bolts holding the engine down under here, 4 of them. And to get to those, I need to pull these springs. So if y'all ever bought a trampoline, it comes with this neat little spring tool, and you basically just hook it under the spring and you can pull them right off. Somebody was asking about the paint that I used on these tractors, and the paint that I used, I call it Fred's. There used to be a store local here called Fred's, and obviously I've got the same matching paint that we can match the tiller with, and I've got a brand new can and a couple half cans, plenty of paint for that project. I actually still have some of the paint that we used on Hawk. That's been done many years ago, and paint's really been holding up well. And I even have some of the blue Freds for when I did the Ford, the Blue Money Pit. Now that tractor's been sold, but I still got about half a can there. But that's the paint I use, and because Fred's is now out of business, they've been out of business for 4 or 5 years now, I've had to find a different brand of paint, and I'm still, seeing how Rust-Oleum works. What else I got there? Yeah, mainly Rust-Oleum products now. So anyhow, that's about the paint, and we're going to get on to pulling the engine and setting the engine up here on the bench, and that way I can get this thing taken apart. Well guys, this is a Walmart brand Hyper Tough wrench set, and I just want to show you something. So taking these bolts out, these are 1/2 inch. So there's the Hyper Tough. It's actually labeled Pittsburgh 1/2 inch. So I want to show you. This is a Taiwan 1/2 inch. Okay. Thorson. These are my old tools. Okay. And here's the Hyper Tough. Look how much slop is in that. Okay, on their metric, this is my old 10 millimeter, and it's labeled Taiwan. And this is the Hyper Tough 10 millimeter. So we'll do the Taiwan first. I've got a 10 millimeter nut right here. No issues. We'll do the open end. Fits right on there. All right. Here's the Hyper Tough. Will not even go in the 10 millimeter. Let's try the open end. Won't even go over it. So yeah, do not buy the Walmart brand Hyper Tough. Well, the engine came off pretty uneventful, but I'm not quite sure what these springs were for, but man, them things were on there. Had to strain a little bit to get them off. So we're up here. Yeah, I guess if I find a donor engine, I'm going to have to find one that's going to have this bolt pattern for this clutch assembly. Yeah, that's froze up also. So anyhow, yeah, we're going to open this guy up. I got to drain the oil, and we're going to open it up, pull the head, and find out why it's seized. All right, let's get to it. All right, well, while the oil's slowly dripping out because it's cold, watching us Sasquatch 253 to know we got some fold over locks here. So he uses a chisel to open them up, and then he uses a brass rod. Don't think this is brass. I think it's copper coated steel, but oh well. I need to get one, but it just flattens them out. And now we'll remove them rusty bolts. So these bolts here are 1/2 inch. Let's see if we'll break the loose. Probably not. We're tilting for some reason. No, let me try something else. So I know I bashed Walmart's wrenches, but they're Hart brand. This is just a little mini impact gun. Let's see how well this does. I haven't had any problems with these. That one's going to be a struggle. Let's try this. Probably not the best way to do it, but there's no way to get penetrating oil in here. I got it moving. Let's see if the impact will move it now. We hit a snag right there. Come on, don't break off on me now. Oh, we're tight. Well, I capped the oil port off and got it setting back down, but now that I got this out here, we're going to go ahead and see if we can get some PB blast in there. Go ahead and hit a few others. All right, so yeah, that one's really tight. Okay, so I was able to pry the muffler out a little bit, so we're gonna shoot some PB blast down here where I think it'll do more good. Let that soak a little bit. So if you're wondering, so this is just paper rolled up back there. So when I make a mess on it, or I get done making all my notes on it, I just pull the vise out and then we'll roll a fresh cover. So I'm not too worried about stuff like this. But yeah, we're gonna kind of work this back and forth now and see if it'll come out. All right, let's see what we got here now. See, I'm gonna tighten it up first and then go the other way. Back and forth. Yeah, this one's gonna fight me. Success! All right. Well, the muffler's in pretty good shape, and I didn't break a bolt off, but Yeah, here's going to be our first peek inside. That's a pretty nice gas tank. I looked down in there. It is nice and clean. If anything, make a nice little test tank. Putting some more PB on the clutch assembly here. Notice this thing is set up for an electric start. It's got the bolts here for the starter, and yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get the front cover pulled off and see what we've got in there. All right, I guess we're going to see this together. I had to remove this little starter cover thing. So, here we go. I'm doing this one-handed. It should come right off. Let me put you up on the tripod. I do not know how folks like Musty One and Sasquatch work with one-handedness. Am I missing a bolt? Well, for goodness sakes. And I think even vice grip. Yeah, we have snails. At least we don't have rat's nest. Let me go dump this out. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna get the PB blast out, go hit all these bolts, and I guess we're gonna try to get this flywheel. That may be the reason it's seized. I don't know yet. But yeah, it looks like I got a little bit more work to do. The coil came off. It's got these little standoffs. I'm going to leave them there for now. So yeah, I had to bring out the big gun. This is 15/16 in here. Let me get on it. Well, that wasn't bad. All right. We'll see about getting the flywheel off. Look here. It's not locked up. I don't know what was holding it. It may have been that pulley over here. It may have been that, but I think we're making some headway. I'm going to have to now search the interweb to see if I can find a carburetor for this thing. Well, I don't see any spots to put a puller in there, so I guess we'll try the old school way here. So you put the nut on there. It's not budging yet. Let me work on this a little bit. It's stuck. Well, I had to put it in the vise and got it loose. I didn't want to pry on the shroud tin behind here. It's trying to come. Come on. It's ducked this way. Yeah, the struggles, right? Be nice if I could have put a puller on it. Is binding up on something. Go ahead and take this nut off now. Don't want to drop it because it'll shatter. Oh, man. Yeah, a lot of rust. All right, well, that's done. I'm going to have to get the shop vac out now. There was a bunch of dauber nests in there. Well, I guess the good news is not a whole lot of buildup in here. And we did get a turn free. But now on the drive pulley, somebody has run a bolt all the way in through that keyway. Yeah, I'm going to soak that down, see if I can get that bolt out of there now. Well, the bolt's just spinning, but I noticed there was a grub screw in there, so let's try this again. Yeah, it's just... all right. That still feels pretty tight. Let me see. I may have to do a puller now. All right, so I thought about maybe using these on that pulley, but then I wasn't sure how hard that was going to be, so I used my bearing puller, which works really good because it puts even force all the way around the pulley. And basically get my wrench on here, and wow, heck, I got PB Blaster all over my hands, but it's coming off really nice. Just to follow up, I spoke too soon on the bearing puller. It squished that together. Yeah, well, we got it off there, but yeah, I think that's a pretty common pulley. So we'll have to see what we can do about that. Don't know if I can fix it.